Kevin Smith on the phone? Oh, fucking Kevin.
All right.
That's why we love Kevin.
Kevin, let me start by saying, who is better than you?
Nobody. Gretzky.
Gretzky, okay. we can accept that. But we put out the bat signal for you, and there you are.
Thank you.
We just had
you know what? Give it up to, let me give a shout-outs to the people who hit me.
Okay.
Less than 313, and who else? Chris 98VF and a dude named Wilcor. I hit my Twitter page, and suddenly, boom, 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 3 people were like, call O&A.
You didn't get my text? I texted you.
Yeah, Jimmy texted you.
He doesn't carry that phone.
I get such weak phone service up at the house, so it's rare that I have to
you
call
got to go with his
through.
Twitter.
Like, I go down the hill from my house, and I get 16 text messages.
That's so weird you can't get cell service in a place called Hollywood.
I know.
Where a lot of wheeling and dealing is going on.
You got AT&T, Kevin?
I do.
There you go.
No, it doesn't matter. I'm telling you. Everyone has problems out there. Because all the hills and shit.
Aren't they opening it up soon? I heard something like next year.
Oh, they always say that.
iPhone's not exclusive to AT&T. I don't know, but yeah, it seems to be a kind of weak signal up here.
No, Kevin, we just had the Paranormal Activity actors in, okay? The movie, as we all know, is a huge success. Made $62 million so far, and by the time this is done, safe to say a couple $100 million.
I would, easily.
Easily, okay.
I don't know what it does foreign, but it doesn't feel like it's petering out till it gets to at least 100 or more here, depending on how far the craze goes post-Halloween.
And it's a Halloween season where we're in the middle of here. All right, so we got the actors in. The movie was made. They're now saying $11,000.
Right.
They obviously, we told them, they're not making any money off this movie, right?
I mean, they'll get. I'm not really sure on the particulars of this. Somebody was telling me that it's like. It's a Paramount film, correct?
Yeah. The director, I don't remember his name, which sucks. I should give him credit here, but he sold the film to Paramount, I guess, for $350,000. So that's it for him, right? He's done.
I mean, I doubt it. I'm sure any agent worth their salt built into the dude's contract that he had bumps, at least bumps. What they'll do is build in bumps for unlikely hits. Like they'll say, when we hit 50 million, you get another 100,000. When we hit 100 million, you get $1 million. When we hit this, figuring it'll never reach those heights, and then all of a sudden you see this. I mean, you think about this may be inside baseball, but like this will tell you a story about how movie financing and back end deals can kind of blow up in your face. On Good Will Hunting, Robin Williams had this killer back-end deal that, said, like, if the movie made X amount of dollars, boom, he gets a huge bump. And if the movie made this, he gets a huge bump. Because you got to remember, the dude took, like, nothing up front to be in that movie.
Right.
And he was a huge coup for us in that movie. So, and his agent, rightfully so, built into his deal, like, okay, he's not taking much up front, but, like, in the unlikely event that this movie takes off, just covering our asses here, we're going to make sure that at these certain bump levels, Robin's going to be compensated. And it was huge compensation, dude. You're not talking like you get a $100,000 bump, which, again, that's huge, too. We're talking way bigger than that. Not at liberty to say what, because, it's something I wasn't paying the dude, nor was I receiving the check. But as a dude involved, let me tell you, it was healthy, very healthy. But it was built in there kind of like, the reason that gets thrown into a contract and signed off on by a studio or a distributor is because they're like, we're never going to get there. And if we do get there, those are rich man problems. We'll deal with them then.
Huh. Yeah, Jimmy.
So then what happens is the movie does do that. It keeps going. Good Will Hunting is earning like crazy. And in order to keep it in theaters, I mean, if it was going to stay in theaters longer than it did, they were going to have to continue paying Robin Williams like a shit ton of dough. So right before it hit the next bump level, they pulled it out. And there's a chance that Good Will Hunting probably could have earned another 10, 15 million bucks.
Wow.
I mean, it was at the end of its cycle, yes, admittedly, but they had just won some Oscars. There was still lots of buzz in the air about it and whatnot. But the economics of the situation dictated that, like, it was less. They were going to earn more. They were going to lose less money. Not the money. Movie didn't lose money, but they were going to have to pay out less, particularly to Robin Williams. If they
so they basically couldn't afford it to be any more successful.
Isn't that weird?
Holy shit!
I always found that a fascinating story, and you know, I was inside of it, right?
Damn.
We were producers on that.
Yeah.
But and it was just like, you know. It's weird to watch because I'm like, but wait, the movie's making money still. Ben and Matt were so frustrated by that. They were just like, how do you do that? Why do you pull it out? Like, you know, we could have kept going, could have kept earning, could have made another 10, 15, who knows what.
Hey, Kevin, didn't he win the Oscar for that? Robin won for the Oscar for that.
He did, and the boys won the Oscar for screenplay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember them walking up there.
Hey, Kevin, I got to ask you something. I don't know.
Anyway, I'm sorry, does that answer the question about Matt, the Hollywood Matt?
Yes, the bump level. I didn't know about that.
I would imagine that. I would imagine. I have to imagine that whoever the fella is or chick is who made this flick got themselves an agent before they got involved in selling a movie.
But the bump level doesn't sound that impressive, you know. But I guess that he didn't have a choice. What else was he going to do? He couldn't really hold out.
Doesn't sound impressive though. The bump thing?
Oh no, the Robin Williams. Jimmy actually wrote it down, and I just got lightheaded. Yeah, I almost fell over. No, I'm talking about the Paranormal Activity bump level. Doesn't sound that impressive considering what this movie's going to end up making.
I mean, who knows what the bump level was, though? Who knows what they built it?
Yeah, you're probably accurate, though.
Kevin, I got to ask you, when you make Clerks, obviously, you know, low budget movie, did you have to sell that to a company and then just kind of sit back and watch it kind of get a cult success and then?
Yeah, totally. I mean, and that was look. Lord knows now I got a presence all over the internet, and I'm you know. I'm a glory whore and a press whore, and I'm out there. You know, I'm a self-promoting machine at this point. But back in the day, I was not. I certainly was not. I was taught how to be that by Harvey and Bob over the years, because they were self-promoters, and you know, their philosophy was always like, look, you don't have any stars in your movie. This is talking about Clerks. You got nobody out there we can put on a talk show, so. You made the film, at least you got something to say about it. Get out there and talk about it. So they made the filmmakers the front men for the movies. You know, and all of a sudden you had a kind of decade where you have directors as quote-unquote stars, like you know their names. Like, you know, in the 80s, name some big directors. Sure, you could name your Richard Donners and people like that, but, like, name some, like, middling-level directors like me from the 80s. You don't know their names. But in the 90s... the Weinsteins kind of put us out there, so you know the names of Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez and my name and a few others that they worked with over the years. So when you're that person, when you're the front person, you kind of build up something of an identity. I got lost in my fucking response. What were we talking about? What the fuck were we talking about?
Stoned
the show has been over for 2 hours, and he's just standing with an unplugged phone talking like a psycho.
I was just spinning, hoping I could remember what it was.
We've all been there. That's hilarious.
Oh, shit.
I don't even know now.
I was wondering, with Clerks being low budget...
At a certain point, I got lost, and I'm like, I just sound so self-aggrandizing. This gotta wrap up in a humble way.
I better remember what the fuck the question was.
You fucking rule, Kevin.
I just wanted to know, with Clerks being a low-budget movie, if you had to give it up and sell it, and then...
excellent question. I forgot.
And then you went into the end of the Kane Mutiny speech.
Strawberries.
I'll keep it brief. All that time, you know, you make the movie, and your dream is to sell it. You want somebody to buy it. And, you know, the biggest dream, the one we didn't even dare dream, was Miramax would buy it, because they were the gold standard, Joe. They were it. So when they bought it, you know, you're like, oh, my God, all my dreams come true. It's 15 years later. You know, in 10 more years over in the UK, I own it there again. I will own it in England. I'll never own it here in the States again, because when we sold it, Disney had just bought Miramax, and in all of their contracts, all of their deals, they put the in perpetuity clause, which was like, we're not buying this. Like, in the indie community, distributors would buy flicks for like 10 years at a clip, 15 years at a clip. And so Miramax used to do that. But when Disney bought them, Disney was like, look, we're not doing this rent-a system. Like, buy the movie, own it. It's more valuable to us to put it into a library that we own. So suddenly when you sold your flick, you were selling it forever. But we didn't care. We weren't like, babes in the woods going like, oh, no, we're giving it all up. All we ever wanted to do was sell the movie, right? And so boom, we did. But then the older you get, you sit there going like, it'd be so cool to own that movie.
Yeah, no shit.